All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we are tackling a huge topic, one of the most classic debates in all of software engineering. And yeah, a question you're almost guaranteed to get in an interview.
So, here's the big question, right? The decision that can literally shape the future of a project. Are we building a monolith or are we going with microservices? Let's break it down and get some real answers. When most people hear these terms, this is probably what they picture. The monolith is just this one giant lumbering machine that can't scale. And microservices are this chaotic mess of thousands of tiny dots all talking to each other. But what if I told you that picture? It's almost completely wrong. Today, we're going to bust that myth wide open. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll bust the biggest myths floating around. Then we'll really dig in and make the case for the monolith. After that, we'll explore the true power of microservices, talk about how to actually make the right choice, and finally, we'll check out some real-world examples.
Okay, first things first. Section 1, let's bust these myths wide open. Because honestly, this is where everybody gets tripped up. If you don't get the definitions right, nothing else makes sense.
Okay, myth number 1, and this is a big one. People hear monolith and think, one server, one point of failure. But that's just not true. A monolith is one application, sure, but you can totally run that same application on a bunch of different machines. Then you stick a load balancer in front, which just spreads the traffic out evenly. That's called horizontal scaling, and it completely debunks the idea that monoliths can't scale.
And then there's the flip side. The micro in microservice is actually pretty misleading. It's not about size, it's about function. A microservice is really just a self-contained part of the business, maybe handling user profiles or the chat system. You might only have 5 or 6 of them, and your phone or browser doesn't talk to them all directly. Usually, everything goes through a single front door called a gateway, which then directs traffic to the right place. It's way more organized than that chaotic dots image.
So, now that we're on the same page, let's dive into section 2. We're going to make a real, honest-to-goodness case for the good old monolith. Because you know what? Sometimes its simplicity is exactly what you need.
So why would you even choose a monolith? While the advantages are super practical. For a small, tight-knit team, it's often perfect. There are just fewer moving parts to worry about. Deploying new code is way simpler. It's just one process. And a huge one is speed. Since everything lives in the same application, communication is just a local function call, which is lightning fast compared to a network request.
But yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? There are definitely some serious downsides. For a new developer joining the team, it can feel like trying to drink from a fire hose. They have to understand the whole system at once. And think about this. If you want to change one single line of code, you have to redeploy the entire application. Plus, testing can become a real tangled mess since everything is so tightly connected. And this right here, this is the big one, the risk that keeps engineers up at night. Let's walk through it. So step 1, everything's running fine. Then step 2, one little component, let's say the image processor, has a bug and crashes. Well, because it's all one giant application, that one failure brings the whole thing down. The user profiles, the chat, everything. Boom. It's a massive risk.
And that terrifying risk? It's the perfect setup for our next section. Let's talk about the power of microservices, which were basically invented to solve that exact problem.
Microservices bring this incredible flexibility to the table. Let's say your chat feature is getting slammed with traffic. No problem. You just add more servers for that one service. A new developer can jump in and focus on just one piece of the puzzle without needing to learn the whole system. This lets different teams work on different features all at the same time. And it makes finding performance bottlenecks way, way easier.
But you gotta be careful. This flexibility can be a trap. There's a great rule of thumb here. If you have a service that only ever talks to one other service all the time, they should probably just be one service. Otherwise, you're adding all this network complexity for no real reason when a simple function call would have done the job.
And that really gets to the heart of the biggest challenge with microservices. It's not about the code or the servers. It's about the people. You absolutely need a smart, experienced architect to draw the lines in the right places. A poorly designed microservice system can be 1,000 times worse than a well-structured monolith.
Okay, we've got the pros, we've got the cons, so what do you actually do? How do you choose? Section 4 is all about getting practical, especially if you find yourself in a system design interview. All right, lean in, because this is a huge tip. If you're in an interview and they ask you to design a massive system, like think Netflix or Google, your gut instinct should probably be microservices. But
And this is the most important part. You can't just throw the word out there. You have to explain why. You have to justify your choice using all the reasons we just talked about.
Think of this table as your go-to cheat sheet. It's all about context, right? You got a small team that needs to move fast and get a product out the door. A monolith is probably your friend. But if you're looking at a huge, complex system with tons of developers working for the long haul, well, that's when microservices start to look really, really good.
All right, to bring this all home, let's finish up with Section 5 and look at some real-world examples. Let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the wild.
And this might surprise you, but there is no single right answer. I mean, look at Stack Overflow, a site every developer on the planet uses with massive traffic, and it runs on a monolith, and it works great for them. Then you have the giants like Google and Facebook. They are all in on microservices to handle their unbelievable scale. It just proves that both can be winning strategies.
So the next time it's your turn and you're staring at that blank whiteboard, the choice is yours. Remember, it's not about which one is better. It's about which one is better for your team, for your project, right here, right now. So, what are you going to build?